liberals are really mainly the ones that, have this line that they gonna toe no matter who,
Right.
no matter who's the one that's leading it. And so those are the Democrats that I feel like they will probably still have an issue with it just because Trump is the one who did it.
Yeah, but do you think, like, if I gotta explain it, like, do you think those are the majority? Like,
No, I just say they're not. They're absolutely
you
not.
did say they're not. Okay,
They're absolutely not the majority of the Democrats. But unfortunately, that is the like I said, that's the stock image that will pop up. Like if you Google search Democrat in your brain, like the first stock image is gonna pop up is that stereotypical image, which is not representative of I would even say the average Democrat.
Yeah.
I would say the average Democrat would probably have more sense than that stereotype of a person. But
it just
unfortunately they don't. Those are the loudest people in the room, and so then they are the ones who becomes de facto representative figure, and that's what the Congress and the politicians think that everybody wants, because the moderate Democrat and the more open-minded Democrat is not the one that's going to be yelling and showing up to meetings and stuff, yelling into microphones about what they're unhappy about. They're the ones at home actually doing a little bit of research and picking they doing what they got to do. They got children and family and stuff to raise, so they ain't got time to be screaming at a city town hall meeting and stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, they don't get the representation like those extremists do.
But do you think, as far as the Republican and the Democratic Party, because I know myself, like I still think both is from the same cloth. But I do know our Constitution was against, or our founding fathers, better say, was against a two-party system like that. They were more for voting and traditional method and how they do an election. But I do agree. I do think that the Republican and the Democrat both dangle in front of our faces racism, religious, abortions, and all these other things that goes on in our society. Section 8 food stamp, because whenever it's voting time or whenever it's election time, they dangle those things in front of our faces. As soon as I gotta say, as soon as a black person here, this person gonna take your Social Security. This person gonna take your Section 8, your link. They be like, oh, this person gonna take my link and my Section 8? Like no, like what? I'm not finna vote for this guy. But then when you look at the other side, they bring up religion. It goes against your values. These are Christian values. Abortion and those other things. But do you think it's like a shadow bribing? Do you think they shadow bribe in our faith all the time? I mean, I think they do. I think they do shadow bribe in our faith all the time, and they dangle these same topics every election cycle, whether if it's racism, Christianity, abortion, the list goes on, and how they try to make a vote against the other side or vice versa. But, do we think that it's just all a part of the same gang? I mean, because it seems like it's every election cycle. Like
it's a two-headed monster.
Yeah.
They got the same body, they got the same goals, they just go about it in different ways.
Right. And if you go back, I was looking up the founding fathers, the presidents, and they went through Washington, Quincy Adams. It went through all the first people out of the gate that was learning what it was to be like the president, because none of these rules were written when it first started. When George Washington got in there and kind of set up shop, they of course just finished the defeat of England. So he's like, I don't want to be a king, any like that. He's like, I just want to get in, set the shit up, and get out. And they agreed to it. That's where they came with these term limits and everything. But they were still under the construction. What was strange was, like after you get past John Quincy Adams, it's like after that presidency, it's like you start seeing a lot of the things now. We're talking about like the fifth president, I think, is where you see a lot of the things now in terms of like the propaganda that went out, what we can do for you and what he can't do for you, the arguments. One dude got married to a woman and she wasn't divorced from her last husband, so that was the big thing of the day. Like, oh, a dude married some chick and she wasn't divorced from her first husband. Everybody's like, oh, we can't vote for you. It's like, that's devil worshiping type shit. But that propaganda and that type of mind state has been going on since, like, really the construction of elections. So it's no different now to this day when people, like you said, they use race, they use money, they dangle carrots, they do this entire thing, but it's nothing new. What surprises me is the fact that why do people still fall for it to a degree, like you discussed being a Republican or a Democrat with somebody, and they'll instantaneously fucking flip out that they. I was at a fucking weed shop and I'm standing in front of two white people. Of course, you know, they look hippie-ish. I'm not judging. I was in line too, so I know what I was there for. But they started talking about one of their friends whose dad just so happened to be fundraiser for some Republican in Michigan. And they immediately start dogging old girl like, oh, she's a bootlicker and her dad is a son of a bitch and all this other shit. And I was like, wait a second, where are we at in this state and time where you can immediately go off the handle just because you hear one or two words, Republican or Democrat, and it'll send you off to name calling, just like spiteful, evil shit. So to me, it's kind of like, I get it, the whole game aspect, like you said before, it's like, yeah, it's two sides of the same coin. But to me, it's like it's lost in the flip where people can actually lose their shit over a set of principles, which is no better than the other. It's like both of them do dirt. You just picking which dirt suits you best. And that was going to be my other question leading into this Minneapolis shit. It's like, okay, these people have been scamming for years and for millions and millions of dollars. You know what? Me personally, I'm not mad about it. I was like, I'm not mad at all. You just ran a hustle and you just so happen to get caught on it. Now you got to pay the piper. It's no big deal.
You mean the daycare thing?
Yeah.
I thought it was in Minnesota, right?
That's what I said. Didn't I say
You said Minneapolis.
Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Oh, well, you know.
It's close. But it still is that the fact
with
that
the Ethiopian daycare.
Yeah,
scam.
it's like it's a scam run. To me, it's like it's no big deal. You niggas just got caught, but it's time to pay the price. Ronald Reagan sold drugs and weapons, and there were people dying in that, and he skated off with no problem. So it's like, there's scams happen all the time, but in this particular case, it's like, okay, y'all equally do dirt. Is that not the Democrats being crooked? And because they was funneling that money. That Ilhan Omar chick is like worth 30 mil off of $175,000 a year salary.
So what all happened in the?
So what happened was, I guess it was.
I just heard barely.
It was
about it.
An independent YouTube journalist. Did a couple of researches on, I guess, on the businesses that's in the surrounding area that got a bunch of funding from the Biden administration during his time in office. So just so happens, I don't know all the details. I'm just trying to bring it along. But I guess supposedly he started to go to look at these businesses.
You want to pull it up, G?
Which they were labeled as, some of them were labeled as houses or daycare. But when he went to the location, it's just somebody random house. And then he went there and he said, hey, is this a daycare? And they're like, no. But clearly this address, you got X amount of funding through the federal grant program or whatever. And then there was another daycare. I'm not sure what the location is. And then he... I guess the sign on the building said Leering Center. I forgot the YouTuber's name, but
Shirley.
And so now, and they say, as you get the people like The View that comes on TV and say all these certain things. Well, what man should be able to walk up to a random house or a business and say where all the kids are? I don't think that's what he was trying to do. I guess he was trying to come from it from a whatever simple standpoint. But if I walk up to a dealership, maybe we can bring up the video. But yeah, go ahead, pop up the video. Hit number 4. Hit number 4 on that pad so we can get that up on the screen.
Oh no!
I think this is a part of the clip.
This is one of them.
Well, the guy walked up and was like, hey, where's the kid?
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
I don't think anybody is enabling fraud to happen.
Hold Governor Walz accountable for this.
What was this money spent on? 1.26 million. What was that money spent on? There aren't any kids.
Answer the question. Are there children? There's no children inside this building. Potentially the largest fraud scandal in U.S. history is taking place in Minnesota.
Look at that shit crazy.
Billions of dollars have been funneled through Somali-ran fraudulent businesses. So much fraud, it could actually almost replace the entire GDP of Somalia. These fraudsters have worked hand in hand with the Minnesota government as they enabled billions of dollars to be given to fraudulent businesses underneath welfare purposes. Some of this money eventually landed in the hands of terrorist groups in Somalia like the Al-Shabaab, and others enriched themselves all at the U.S. taxpayers' expense. And in this video we will break down all of the fraud from start to finish, from going to the fraudulent businesses and confronting.
It would be
the people
different
who
had they not
billions of
actually
dollars
caught the
from
niggas that was
government.
doing it.
And we will also be confronting the
Alrighty.
incompetent government leaders who let this fraud happen. And to make this happen,
Yeah, I
So
think
we
we
hit
good.
number 2, and then you can press and hold that auto. Then we get back into switching.
So it's like, so there you go. You have it. That
Yeah,
you know
I mean,
they do
they
dirt
ran a
on both
scam.
sides, right?
Yeah.
They got caught, but it's still.
Well,
the
you
fact
say
that-
both sides. Were they tied directly to the government, or it's
Yeah.
just like they are independent who just been scamming the government?
No, they directly tied it to the officials in Minnesota. It's like one of the daycare numbers that they dialed went directly to Tim Walsh's straight office.
Oh, damn.
Like it rang to his office. Like, hey, thank you for calling the governor's office and Tim Walsh. Blah blah blah.
I mean, they
It's-
could have just threw that number up there. It'd be funny.
No,
The way
this
people
was
running
on
the
the
scam.
no. This was on the daycare. One of the daycare that was listed in there.
Yeah.
They called the daycare number, and that rang to the office.
Oh,
And
wow.
then they got different officials that are listed as contact members on this. I was like,
Oh, so this is like the members of the government are actually taking part, not just being scammed. They're taking part.
they're taking part of the scam.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and it's
We're
like,
not affiliating or saying that anyone is a part of that.
shit, I
We're
am.
just having a conversation.
No,